Hey everyone, I'm Alicia. This is our channel, AA Homestead, and I welcome you. I've got the boss here. We're gonna go down and update you guys on the blackberries and see how they are doing. So let's go ahead and go. There's so many back here. I'll never be able to get to all of those, but some of them are starting to turn. I've got one here. There's another one over here. A couple. They're definitely a lot redder than they were the last time that I showed you. There's a couple more that are ready. I picked quite a few in the woods and gave them to the chickens. They really enjoyed them. But before I know it, I'm going to have so many I'm not going to know what to do with. Here's another big patch. I know it's really hard to see on camera. You can't really distinct. It doesn't show up very well. But they're in there. There's a lot of them. They spread like wildfire. They are everywhere on this property. There's one. I didn't bring a basket, so I've been putting them in this cup holder for the chickens. I tried giving some to the ducks, but they didn't seem very interested in it. I'm wondering if I put them in water, if they would be more apt to eat them that way. But the chickens absolutely love them. Got this pretty much all filled up. There's a little bit here left that we've been taking from the pile that's in front of the barn and getting it ready for winter. We were going to do it in a specific spot, but we just never got to moving things around. On the other side of the property, over here, you can't see them that well. They're kind of covered, but they grow on the ground over here instead of the bushes like I showed you in the back. And it makes it easier for the raccoons to get over here and eat these. I typically pick these for the chickens just because they're so easy to get to. We did have an incident over the weekend where there was raccoon poop out by the door of the barn. We didn't have any issues, thankfully. No one got hurt. There is a way to get in. We have had issues with raccoons getting into the barn, but where the chickens are, it's pretty secure to a degree, not the way that we would like it. So this year we're going to build a coop for the outdoor chickens, nothing extravagant like what we have for the permanent run, and to be safe if we needed to put them up for a little while. But I didn't realize how heavy the raccoons and the coyotes were out here, especially the raccoons. They are heavy out here. They're very populated. So we do our best to keep our chickens safe. Where I showed you the one wood pile, we were actually going to move that throughout here, but it got too late in the season before we can move the rows of Sharons. Typically you want to move things that are either in the spring or the fall when they're dormant, so it doesn't kill or hurt anything that you're moving. We didn't get a chance to get to that right away, so we're going to use the existing wood piles until next year, and then we're probably gonna move it to this spot. It's closer to the house, so if we wanted to grab wood, we're not going all the way to one side of the property versus the other side. Not that those spots aren't good, it's just easier to get to this spot. This is what the wood pile looks like now. We've worked our way through, I'd say, about half of the wood pile, but it's important that we move this wood pile because we got to move the duck house. We've been wanting to move the duck house for a while. The spot that it's in is just a temporary spot. We just had not gotten to moving it yet. The goal is to put it over here and clear all this out, get all of this fenced in. But the problem is, our first year here, when we got compost, we put that ground cover down and all of this foliage rooted all of that compost out, and it basically grew into the ground. It's like almost cemented. You can see Andrew tried to get some of it up. It's most likely going to be a team effort to get that out. It's all the way over here, so it's pretty decent size. So it's going to be a chore. What, baby? Hi. You need your daily dose of love. Yeah. Hi, Timmy. What? Hi. Oh my goodness. I know it's going to be a two-person effort to get that up out of the ground like that, but the way my brain works is that I'm going to be able to do it no problem. But I'm probably going to learn that that's not going to be the case. But before we do that, let's go ahead and check on the chickens and see how they're doing. I'm going to show you what Andrew built to help with the egg eaters. And so far, it's done a really good job. And we hope it continues to do a good job. They're not happy. They have let us know repeatedly that they're not happy about the situation. Not that there's anything wrong with the boxes, but the fact that they can't get to the eggs is, and I can hear them yelling from all the way to the garden. So Andrew built this. He did a really good job. And it's not on a big enough slant to affect the chickens, but enough where they're going to roll into this sectioned box. Come on, lady. So, and if they were to get to them or try to, they're going to roll down here. So we have rollaway boxes, and it's been really nice so far. And I need to count every day to see what we're getting versus what we were. Everyone's in here. They know that they can't get to them. So when I come in here to get the eggs, they come in here and try to get to them before I can. I put minimal bedding in here, hoping that they wouldn't lay or make a nest, but they still like laying in this corner over here. But they don't seem to peck at the ones that are outside of the nesting boxes. Only when they're in the nesting boxes is when they like to peck them. Why? I have no idea. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 in here, and it's about 1 o'clock. I'm not sure how many Andrew gets at the end of the day, but he also has to tally so we know what we're getting versus how many chickens that we have in the coop, so we can kind of figure out who's laying and who's not. It's definitely a bad habit that they've picked up. Not only have they taught the leghorns, they've taught the other ones how to do it, so everyone is doing it now. I come in here and check on them, and they're just in the boxes looking for eggs. You can hear the one. She's not happy with what's going on. She's the one that's mad right now. Say hi, Paul. They all seem well. They have food and water. The only thing that I need to do, I can leave that open, before I leave is refill their water. But let's go ahead and check on the other chickens and get their eggs as well. I'm really excited about the garden. Things are starting to produce. Beans have been producing pretty well. Not enough for me to can, but more than what we can eat. So we're kind of like in that middle to eat as many as we can before they're too many to harvest, where I need to start canning. So it looks like I've got 2 over here in the corner. In this corner we had 1 big empty box that we used as a brooder, but we took that out and then took the hay that was on top of it, or straw, and they liked laying in this corner over here, which is completely fine. We don't mind that at all. We were just hoping to get them laying in the boxes. So we took the brown fake eggs that we had and we put them inside these boxes, and most of them started laying inside the boxes, which is great. I got 4 total from here. It's 5. 6. I think this one's, yeah, fake one. I think that one is too. We got a total of 6 on that one. So one of them, there for a while I was worried was laying somewhere else and gone broody and was going to have a ton of babies just randomly show up. That didn't happen, but I still think one of them was laying somewhere else. So there probably was. I'm sure the raccoons got to him if there was. There's the raccoon poop. It broke down a little bit, but that's right in front of the barn, the door where the chickens are. But technically they can't get into the inside there. It's got chicken wire all around it, not the greatest, but there is chicken wire. That's why we're so adamant about building them their own coop. Not only do we want the barn back, but we also want to make sure that they're as safe as can be. You know, these animals entrust us to make sure that they stay safe, and that's what we're gonna do. Now that we've kind of went around the property a little bit and did a chicken update, kind of. I'm kind of running out of time, but I really want to work on this ground cover that I showed you guys and see if I can get anything up out of there so we can start fencing all of this in and get the duckies over here in a better and safer area, because we're going to permanently fence this in. We're not going to use, I think it's snow fencing that we have over there and chicken wire and all that stuff. So I'm going to attempt. But before I do, I think it's very important that I put these bad boys in 4-wheel drive. Let's go. I can see where Andrew already started pulling this up over here. I don't know if this is a good spot to start or if I should start over here. I feel like this is going to be a lot harder than it should be. Looks like he tried to pull up over here too. And this is stapled in probably. Might need a hammer to, oh, that was a staple. I'm gonna go grab a hammer. I also grabbed a bucket to put these staples in so they're not just sitting on the ground, and if I lose one, I think that was another staple. Well, this isn't good. Staples are brown. The earth is brown, the sand, and the roots for this stuff is brown. I'm thinking if there's any type of tension. Yep, there's one. from the ground cover. I'll see if I can find the staple, and sure enough, do it this way. Here we go. Getting over stuff like this might be a little difficult. There we go. Found you. Bring this bucket over here. It's getting hot out. Sweating a pretty good storm. Well, that came out a lot easier than I thought it would. Ooh. Honestly, I think the hardest part is getting the staples out. So now the problem that I'm running into is compost that we had on top of it is now piling up, and it's making it harder to pull the ground cover. Whew. Maybe I need a shovel. Got the shovel. There is still compost here that it's a shame that it's going to waste, but the problem is yeah, we could still use this, but the problem that you run into is the weed seeds. Because it's been in this area with all these weeds growing around, there's going to be a lot of weed seeds in here. And even though there are weeds out in the garden, it happens. I don't want to add more to it than what's already out there, or to my towers, my grow towers, or any type of garden bed that I have, because I'm going to get those weed seeds in there. It could potentially cause, I wouldn't say problems, but further down the road, you're going to be picking those out. So now that we know, we're going to build something that's a little bit better, where we can have our compost dropped off. I had an idea of tying something to the tarp or the ground cover itself, and then hooking it to the boss and then pulling it out that way. But there's too much tension and I think it would rip, so I don't think that's an effective way to get this out of here. Unfortunately, by hand, I think I'm out of breath. The most efficient way. This is where the ground cover started, and over here in this corner, and I've worked myself all the way over here. Now the problem is what's happening, because there's stuff on top of the ground cover. As I pull, it's piling on top of it, so I have to dig it out. I've gotten to this corner. I don't know if there's a staple underneath there, or if it's because of that weed here that's causing me problems. Andrew did all of this, I think it was Sunday, so I got part of it tore up. And part of this is up as well. This is what the mulberry plant looks like. It's just a smaller version. They are green right now, but they're going to turn about a purplish color. There's more of a mature one that hasn't ripened yet. But this is what they look like. I think I'm going to call it. I'm tired. It's a two-person job with one person trying to do it. Okay, I called it. It's hot. I'm sweating. Ground cover, trying to get the rest of that up. I'll work more on that throughout the week. Hopefully by the weekend, between Andrew and I, we'll have all of that pulled up if we keep working on it. That way we can start working on getting that duck coop moved. There's still a couple other things that we got to do before we officially move it, get it fenced in, and figure out how big we want that. But until then, little by little, we're getting there. But I'm going to head in. I'm going to wash my disgusting feet. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.